The following podcast may contain spoilers.
It's a story you've heard before. A young man teased for his name, an outcast who finds solace in video games. One game in particular. And lo and behold, the new version of the game comes out today. He excitedly goes to buy it, brings it home, and finds himself in another world. Our novel today is Breakers, and this is the Treading the Path of the Heaven podcast. My name is Jonathan Kenny, your host, joined as always by my fellow co-hosts.
I'm Richard.
I'm Bill.
That introduction was dramatic as hell, y'all. I'm Seth. I'm not a host. I'm like
It's been a
perennial
long
guest.
time. It's been about 2 weeks since we had another episode. A main line.
Yeah.
An actual episode.
Yeah, it's been a while. It's like, we had Night, so then we had
What'd you guys think of Knights? What'd you guys think of Enlightenment? Did you like them? Tell us if you didn't, because
We're not going to stop doing them, but tell us if you didn't, because that'd be cool.
we might format them different. I don't know.
Yeah.
Tell us why you didn't.
Yeah, tell
we
us
can,
why you didn't.
Improve.
But yeah, for real, Hawking a Deathblade was awesome.
I was, some would say illuminating, some would say enlightening.
Yeah,
I think that's us. I think we actually put those words on this.
it's true. The person you heard laughing off mic a lot was me. I was listening in on that. That was a very fun. That was the only live podcast I've ever attended in my own home that was not Harmontown. And so
Wait, you attended Harmontown in your own home?
yeah, we watched a live stream once, remember? Like, you are a member of Harmontown when you are watching a live stream of Harmontown.
You did sleep on Dan Harmon's couch, so would that count as a live show of Harmontown?
In his own home.
Well, he doesn't run Harmontown in his home.
It's true. Like,
But-
he's only the mayor of Harmontown when he is in the castle or eventually the moon. That is the goal.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Good to know.
I look forward to seeing live broadcasts of Dan Harmon doing Harmontown on the moon.
Well, but
Okay.
Harmontown is intended
This
to be...
this podcast is not Harmontown. It's Treading the Path of Heaven.
Yeah, I'm sorry. We're talking about Harmontown a lot. I like that.
I mean,
I
you
like
were
that
talking about
podcast a lot.
Harmontown, but we're doing Breakers today.
Breaker.
We
What are we
promised
breaking?
it.
Your face.
My
Shut up,
self-respect.
Okay.
Oh.
That's what I got for doing that long laugh.
Apparently.
I put in effort into that long laugh, and you take away your respect. Okay.
But yeah, we've got another novel today translated by Rainbow Turtle. It's a Korean novel by author...
it was Chi Young.
Yay.
I hope we got that right.
I
Yeah,
hope.
man.
Doesn't that mean like quartz?
I'm working on it.
It means quartz.
quartz.
It means
Yeah,
quartz.
no, it was a very popular novel as it was coming out and has recently been completed within the last month or two.
Ye Old Novel Translates has this to say about it. My name is Ju In Gong. The name that my parents gave me meant protagonist of the world. As anyone can predict, I was constantly teased due to my name. In kindergarten, elementary school, middle school, and high school. If I went to university as planned, then I would probably be laughed at there as well. So, at one point, I really hated my name. But not anymore. Now I think slightly differently. Maybe being named Ju In Gong was a type of foreshadowing.
No kidding.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I mean, I guess he was born to be the protagonist, though we rarely call him that name throughout the entire novel.
Well, I mean,
Well-
it's people don't call him that. He calls himself
He don't
that.
even call himself that after a certain point.
Okay, the book calls him that.
Yeah,
all the
like
time.
when he's not being referred to, it's always Juing Gong, but
Yeah.
When
So-
he's being referred to, what's he called?
Shutra.
I'm the only
He's
guy who
Shutra.
doesn't know. Shutra?
Yes.
Like the Karma Sutra?
Nah, not the Karma Sutra.
No, I
no,
mean
no,
the
no.
like,
It's
spelling
spelled
is
the
pretty
same
much
way
right, yeah.
with an
Yeah.
H.
That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. So like a guy who's just really good at shooting
No.
people in fun positions.
kind of,
At
but
the
you know.
end.
I mean, like, define fun positions.
I mean, have you read the Kama Sutra?
Yes.
Okay, then
But, like-
those.
Then
Those
no.
are pretty fun.
Are you? What are you?
I don't know.
All right then.
I thought these books were all about like names meaning stuff and whatever. Shut up.
Well, yeah, but
Yeah,
this
but
is
this
in like
is
a
like a-
fantasy realm with like a demon king and like
Have you played a video game? Like,
I have not.
Oh, well, okay. Let me enlighten you on video games.
I'm sorry, a videoed game?
Yes.
Yeah, it's a game that incorporates. Shut the hell up, Bill. Seth. Oh, sorry. Bill.
Same
Both
thing.
of us.
Same thing. Same thing.
Anyways.
I pretend to be stupid. Bill makes bad puns. That's our things.
Apparently. So, okay, our story starts with our protagonist telling us about his life, how it's terrible because he was named Protagonist, and people are like, ha ha, you're named Protagonist. What are you going to go, like, fight a dragon or something? Spoilers, yes.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what he's gonna do.
So, he gets, this is, like, his favorite game. It's like WoW, sort of, but, like, not. It's really, I don't know. Is it popular at the beginning?
It's popular. It's like a popular single player game.
Okay.
That's like a dope RPG, and in the first incarnation, you could only play as two characters: Locke, the hero of the human world, and Zephyr, the second prince, the demon king of the Demon King. You know, the second son of the Demon King, and you get to do a bunch of cool stuff.
Yeah, I mean, he played through the story like I think like 10 times. He said.
Yeah.
Before like the new version came out, and like he played as the hero. You go and you have to kill the Demon King, and then you save the world because you've defeated the demons. As Zephyr, you have to murder all of your siblings after like collecting power in the nation.
That makes sense. No, that's
to usurp your father.
That's how that works. Yeah. No, you have to wait until you've gathered the power before you can kill all the opponents, because like otherwise, like somebody's gonna stop you.
Now, the problem here is Ingong has to kill everybody. Any of his servants, any of his...
Oh, shit, he's just got to wipe out, like, his whole castle?
Oh, right. Yeah, he doesn't trust anybody, people who helped him or people who were his enemies. He's like, I'm just going to wipe the slate clean, and then I'll start my own shit.
And, like, Ingong hated that. He was like, oh, man, I just wish I could save my favorite ones.
All these characters are great. Like, I don't want to kill Caitlyn. I don't want to kill this person, blah, 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 blah.
Is the only
Maybe
way
I'll
you
get
can...
that in this new version of the game, because I get to play as other characters that were hidden from me.
There's like what? It was 6 characters you could play as?
6 characters you could play as and all the other stuff.
Shit,
including
man.
a character we didn't hear anything about in the first game. One Knife Prince that didn't show up at all in the first game.
Yeah, just like the shitty no influence didn't really touch the story at all. No one really cared about him. He died in the day of the massacre, but only because he happened to be of royal blood.
Day of the massacre was indeed the day Zephyr was like, all right, I think this is enough. Kill everybody.
Yeah, he went to war with the lycanthropes and the nightmares and all that shit. He went to war with them and their stuff because they discovered that some stuff went down that shouldn't have been discovered. And so he used that as an excuse to wipe out his siblings.
Those are always fun. Like, this sounds like a very standard fantasy world that you've just described to me.
Oh yeah, no, it's got all the creatures: centaurs, giants, lizardmen.
Yeah, no, this feels very much like Dungeon Defense if you took Dungeon Defense's laziness and like traded that for hard work and then like lowered the intelligence by like half.
Yeah.
It's about the same book.
So he's not as smart as the main character, my man Dantalion from Dungeon Defense, and he's not twisted or fucked up. It's like they played the story straight. And instead of picking intelligence, he picked power.
I feel Dantalion is incredibly similar to Zephyr, except Zephyr's also incredibly powerful.
Yeah.
So like they both have the same scheming mind. They both like twist people to what they want them to do, but also Zephyr just has overwhelming force and is just the better fighter most of the time.
All right.
But let's skip backwards to the beginning. Where he wakes up in a tent.
Wait, who?
Our main character.
He
starts playing the new game, and he wakes up in a tent.
Okay, so...
It is a VR game.
Okay, then... Okay, continue.
Yes.
I was going to say, does he expect to wake up in a tent?
Game, actually.
He goes in, and he's like, oh, man, this is incredible. This is so realistic. And he starts touching stuff and like jumping on shit, and then like somebody comes in and starts having interactive dialogue with him, and he's like, the fuck?
Not only that, but because he sucks so bad, he looks at his stats, right? And he's like, holy crap, I'm weaker than villager number 1. I'm weaker than a normal mook.
If they have like 7 different stats, each at 10, that would be a normal villager.
He starts at like 5 and everything.
What character did he pick? The ninth
He
guy?
didn't pick anyone. He just starts as the 9th prince
Oh.
in a tent.
Oh, okay. So he starts as a character that is not on the back of the box, and
Pretty much.
He knows the character exists.
He knew of it because it was just like a peon that got murdered.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, on the day of the massacre, he sort of was he fled and was in hiding, but Zephyr was like, nah, I'll get him too.
But let me explain Shutra's background before, what they give to us, okay? Shutra is the 9th prince. He is the son of,
The fifth
queen, which is was the queen of the Gandharva. All right.
I like to think of them as like, imagine Aasimar from Pathfinder or D&D, like sort of like a celestial-esque being
That just smell like flowers all the time, basically, like honey and flowers. They just smell amazing. They look like something out of like the heavenly path, or like the diva path, and
that
Indian cult, like in Hindu culture,
So he's half that cult. He's half that race,
and half Sura.
and half Sura, which is like the most terrifying combat race because they have incredible potential. Most of them are just normal,
Yeah.
but the ones that get really powerful or like can like fight dragons and shit.
Like Gandharva aren't weak either, but they're one of the stronger races of the demon world, and he married into her. But the problem with the 9th prince is he was born with the rumor was he was born without a soul, but he was born with no potential, no talent. He was worthless. And upon his birth, for some reason, the Gandharva apparently committed a great crime and were banished as the Senator Gandharva. They weren't wiped out because Demon King is kind. He just banished them and no one knows where they are. So this is a boy, the last of his race that is free, who's the son of the Demon King with no potential and no supporters. Because as a prince, you're supported by your race.
Yeah, he's out on a mission at the beginning, which he realizes quickly, and he finds out he has literally no attendant, no nothing. He is literally royalty and has no one that has been sent with him. He is literally contracted local orcs.
And he didn't have the money for that. Fun fact: the king sent him on this to finally they sent him on this to finally get some like military experience. So he's borrowing soldiers from his big sister Caitlin. So these aren't even his orcs.
But he finds one who comes into the tent named Karak,
good old
who
Karak.
may actually be the real main
For
character.
real. Yes, this character's incredible.
I mean, like, it is truly their blessing, each of them, that they met when they did. Like, if he had met Karak any later, or Karak had never met him, their lives would have been it. That would have been done.
Yeah, I don't think either of them would have lived.
They would not have survived that first area without each other there. Like Karak comes in and he's like, Karak's kind of like bemused because Karak's like hella smart for an orc, like way smarter than he deserves to be. So he's like, "Are you sure you're a prince?" Like he's confused with this kid. Like, but he starts training him.
He's like jumping up on him, down on like the couch and shit.
Well, not only that, he doesn't know what's going on. So he talks to Karak like, "Look, I get it. Just explain things to me as if I knew nothing."
Yeah, I think I have a like temporary amnesia.
Yeah.
Just pretend I know nothing. Yeah.
And then, like, things begin to get explained to you, the reader, and to protagonist, a.k.a. Shutra, a.k.a. Ngong, a.k.a. Shugong, which I will now call him forever. So Shugong and Karak start leaving the tent, and then he's like, well, since I'm here under the orders of my big sister, I should go talk to her. So after a long expanded, like, he goes and meets his sister, he meets his brother, he finds out he has a UI. Like
he can see the mini map. It's not even like a UI. He just has access to a mini map that no one else has, and he can't log out. He also discovers that he doesn't know how to log out.
Oh, what's
Doesn't
with all
know
these
anything.
VR games and not being able to log out? That's like the thing one. Hey, guess what? Sword Art Online can't log out. Ah, fuck.
Well, how
Hey,
else
guess
are you
what?
going to be immersed if you have to live there forever?
When I started reading this story, my dearest hope would be that the twist ending would be that this would just be like Dave from Rick and Morty.
Roy.
Yeah,
Roy.
Roy too, Dave.
Yeah, Roy 2 Dave. You
It's
know,
true. Yeah, yeah.
where where he'd just like wake up in like an hour and be like, "Holy shit, I just lived the entire game."
He's off the grid.
But yeah.
He meets his stuff. He sees Caitlyn. He's like, she's not as terrifying as she was in the game. Like,
To be fair, she is young. He doesn't start at the beginning of the game.
starts 2 years before the massacre happens.
Oh, cool.
So,
So,
like-
he's got time to plan.
Relationship, yeah, he does, but relationships are different. Like events haven't happened to like cause people to join factions yet. So he meets people and he's just like nice, and they're so shocked that he's being nice that they open up.
They're so used to their other siblings playing politics, and Caitlyn's a really sweet girl, so she just wants to be your big sister. She wants to be family, and she couldn't do that with her other siblings because everyone's playing politics.
Politics, not a very fun game.
So Shutra, she feels comfortable enough to be nice to Shutra, and her older brother, and in turn, is comfortable with Shutra because Shutra has no backing. Being nice to Shutra doesn't harm them
Yeah.
because he's not a danger. We have an entire people, armies. Shutra has nothing.
Worst case, he does nothing. Best case, we get another pawn.
Yeah, pretty much.
So there's a mission that they're sent out to do to take care of like this group of what?
It was
like,
the Red Lightning tribe, I think.
Yeah,
like a
Red
group
Lightning
of-
Traveling.
orcs or ogres?
Orcs.
Orcs.
They
Okay,
were
so
orcs. They rebelled and they stole a bunch of
Orcs.
shit.
yeah,
And they had like this cool thing that let them control like the monsters in the swamp to murder
swamp
things.
mammoth.
Yeah,
Swamp
it was
mammoths.
sick. Yeah,
You
yeah.
guys have been talking for a while, but I do need to repeat. Ogorths, Ogorks is the answer you were looking for.
No, there
No,
are ogres and there are
ogres.
Ogorks is the joke I was making that is bad. Okay.
Oh.
Bill,
Oh, I heard
now
you.
you need to be stupid, and then we've traded positions.
It's okay. I'll take care of that later.
Okay.
So anyways, he has this entire mission set out before him. Like, all right, we're gonna take care of things. You just sort of run around the back and make sure, nothing happens. Doing so, he finds a hidden tunnel. Welcome to Sutra Finds Things before everyone else, the game.
Because one, he has a mini map, and two, he's savvy about the way the game hides things. So he sees like a wall, and he's like, "That's clearly a hidden path."
Yeah.
Oh, so
but-
genre savviness helping it yet again.
Because his minimap is so fucking ridiculous, he can see through things that aren't really like he has. Think about having a top-down view that sees through walls,
Shit.
and he can see friendlies and enemies on the minimap.
Shit.
It's real good.
It's real funny because he's like, "All right, just like go this way and then that way, and then you can get to this room where there's stuff." And they're like, "How do you know that? And what are you talking
Have
about?"
you been here before,
Have you-
Shutra?
He's like, "No, I just know it's cool. I walked through it. I remembered it." And then he like draws a completely accurate map, just like copying the mini map.
I read it in a book once.
Yeah.
And
I
that's
got
the,
good memory.
that's the best part. No one has interacted with this guy. Like, he is an absolute unknown. He doesn't know that originally, so he has to like tiptoe for a while. But literally, he could get away with murder.
And
Well,
then also,
maybe like less.
the Gandharva, his mother's race, are kind of known for having perception abilities.
Yeah.
So he just kind of like lets people assume their own reasons for why he can do things.
They're empaths and they figure things out. So he's able to distract people from the crazy mind-boggling shit he's doing by saying, "Oh, it's a Gandharva thing," because Gandharva has been locked up his entire life. So no one's seen a Gandharva in like years.
Oh, that's handy.
So like,
So
Yeah.
basically, we have this kid. He finds himself in this weird world. He starts doing some things that make him successful. Like he starts succeeding at missions, and he goes back home. He starts getting a little bit of support.
he trains super hard because he has this cool ability where when he levels, he gets this nice shining thing that he says, "Oh, it's a Gandharva thing," which heals him of all his wounds and recovers all of his stamina. It's pretty great.
Doesn't recover mental fatigue though.
but not mental fatigue.
Hold on. I think we skipped over a really important fact since we're talking about leveling. We forgot to talk about his race. Oh, no, we did talk about that. His occupation and his.
Oh yeah, he discovers his class.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
going to build into that for sure.
Yeah,
Well, I mean,
yeah.
Yeah,
Well-
I was going to describe the game and then talk about how that was kind of the major change to the plot.
Conquest Knight. He's confused because this is a class that's not in the game. He's never even heard of it. Conquest. What the? Like the Horsemen of the Apocalypse conquest. Like
Well-
conquering
I mean,
Grand Conquest?
it's
It's a-
technically not a Four Horsemen. They decided to replace Pestilence, but
I mean, that's the original. Actually, fun fact: Conquest is the original Four Horsemen. Pestilence is a change for us. Yeah,
all right.
yeah, it's definitely Conquest.
All right. Well, his occupation is actually protagonist.
Mhm.
So he cannot escape. It is just who he is.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, he has 2 classes.
Somebody just accidentally put it in the wrong field. They put like his name in his occupation field, and the game was like, "Fuck it, I got this."
He also has a race, half Sura, half.
No, it's just species Gandharva.
No, yeah, I forgot. His was different. Everyone else is half something.
Yeah.
His is just that species of Gandharva. That's important later.
But yeah, so there's also like different magic, like different power types in the world. There's aura, which is like kung fu. I make myself stronger.
Yeah, it's
Ki.
kind of like Ki, essentially.
Okay, sure.
There's magic power where you just like chant stuff and then things happen.
Traditional spells.
There's spirit magic one, or is that
There's divine.
There's
Divine
divine
power.
There's divine power
And psychic.
/ divinity. There's telekinesis, that's psionics.
Sure.
There's aura and
and magic.
and
magic.
Yeah.
And these 4 things don't work together.
And usually you just kind of have to have the talent for them. If you don't, there's not really a way to learn them.
You eventually can teach yourself magic through education and hard work, but your potential only grows by doing things. And other people don't have fucking levels. All right, like other people just don't have levels. That's not a thing. He can see them in a level thing, but people don't have levels in this world. So people have to work hard for things. Not Shutra, not Ingong, not Shugong.
Shugong does not work for a
Yeah, no.
goddamn thing.
Shukong's special ability, the Conquest ability, essentially means that if anyone tries to attack him with something, that becomes his power.
Oh,
It still hurts him, but like you shoot him with a fire arrow, he
I
now knows
learned
fire arrow.
and he can improve it quickly. And he gets skill points per level, which he can cheat to put it in things too.
He
You can
also
train
gets-
it normal, too.
He also gets stat points, where he gets stat growth, but he also gets an extra stat point pool that he could just at any point in time for like a minute at a time move a point.
Jesus.
He also has a beautiful thing that the gift system gave him. Well, the world gave him actually, called protagonist correction,
Yep.
which is way better than the story gives it credit until the end. Like we thought protagonist correction was just like, oh man, he gets to be immune to poisons, or he gets to do this or do that. No.
It's what makes the game work.
Yeah, it just makes his abilities more epic to make them worthy of being a protagonist ability.
And because of the ability to conquer things, he can force the multiple magic systems to work together and improve each other instead of delaying and destroying each other in his body.
Shit.
Most people who would try to cultivate like psionics and magic and aura, they would end up harming themselves because their body would react poorly to it.
Yeah, can't hold all those cool things at once.
Well, it's more like
They retract from each other.
yeah, like polar opposites. They would
Yeah, like
repel each other. But
Antinodal kind of things where they
Mhm.
cancel each other out.
Conquest is like, nah, it's just like a glue that just sort of sticks things together, whether they like it or
Fucking
not.
Conquer. Like he also gets the ability to gather followers / knights, and later on deem things called apostles.
Conquest apostles.
The ability of being the avatar of conquest on this planet is real good, real strong. Yeah.
That being said, this new feature in the game doesn't come without consequences. The other 3 horsemen are also out there fucking shit up.
Oh, okay. Makes sense.
Yeah, he doesn't actually run into them until like his second mission.
Third, I think.
Oh, okay.
Well, no, the centaurs.
But technically, the Red Lightning guys were being manipulated by war.
Oh yeah,
You
that's
discovered
true.
that like
The
all the
purple
bad
light.
things from the original game is all entangled in the background of that original game were the horsemen, no matter
So
what.
this is just a badass prequel.
It's not even a prequel.
It's a prequel that is also the full second game. Like it doesn't.
Oh shit.
And
It's-
also, like, Shutra has played the game. So he knows things that are in places that other people don't know about. So that this skips ahead a bit, but there's a day he just goes and does quests around town.
Like all the side quests he knows about?
Yes, he knows literally how to handle each and every one of them.
Yeah. So he just like walks up like, hey, here's that fish you need. And they're like, well, how'd you know I need a fish? And he's like, I don't fucking know, man.
Let me
Take the
regale you.
fish.
He walks up to a fountain. A ghost comes out and is like, oh no. And he like throws a talisman on the ground. That is the talisman of the man who killed you. His name is blah, da, 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 da. And he's, oh. He's like holding out his hand, waiting for the reward.
Come on. I know it's like what, 10K gold?
Yeah.
Just like, come on.
Yeah, no, so he just does that for a day.
Or he's like, oh man, the Demon King's world city's so big and all this stuff, but I know where to stand at the exact point in time to do this thing that gets me this weapon that I can do this with that he doesn't use.
And like he knows who like the key people in like Zephyr's forces were, so he goes and like steals them before Zephyr connects with them.
All but one. So sorry, Sectum, but like Sectum was a necromancer that he was just like, these are 3 people I need. Vandal, the ogre general Niatrea, the succubus like information gatherer, spy person, and Sectum, the necromancer. I just love these guys. He doesn't.
Sectum is a badass when he actually shows up. You realize, oh shit, no wonder he wanted fucking Sectum. That's way too good. But like, in Zephyr, like his father can sense the flow of destiny. It's something that powerful Suras can do.
Broken.
They can just sense fate.
I think this guy's gonna win. I'm gonna side with him.
Zephyr's getting pissed off because his worthless little brother that has been a non-issue has taken people from him that he could feel a connection of destiny with these people, and they're gone. He'll never meet them. He'll never get them underneath him.
Yeah, no, Conquest Knight is just too broken.
It's very good.
Just conquers.
There was the time where he borrowed like the spirit of an area to like help cast the protection with magic that would save it, and like the spirit wanted this to happen, and so he's like, all right, sure, submit to me and I'll use the magic. And he's like, cool. So he does that, saves the day, and the magic's like, all right, release me. And he's like, I don't know how to release you.
Yeah, no, you're just mine.
And then she proceeds to be his servant forever.
Sorry about
She'll
that.
never not be conquered. He can't unconquer.
If you'd like, I could just tell you to do something else, but
oh no, she at one point in time she refuses. Like she just holds her arms around his neck and just doesn't let go. She's like a cape.
Jesus.
A spirit cape.
She absolutely loves that guy.
Yeah.
Sounds like.
She was like in isolation for what, like 1,000 years.
Yeah. Because she was basically there's several dragons that are basically the incarnation of gods on the planet, and they work together, use all their power to push back this giant red dragon, this red tyrant, destroying his body with the Draken Ketchatula of that land, and the indigenous species did some stuff, and
Drakon Ketchakula is the dragon warrior. I think in like giant speech.
Yeah. And the Dragon Warrior is revered by like literally in the ruins. There's ruins that they explore that was put there by the indigenous species from before the time of strife, because like their time stopped. They stopped tracking history 10,000 years back, which is funny because the Dark Elves and the Elves have been around longer than 20,000 years, but they don't even have history past 20,000 years ago because there was the time of strife and then indigenous species, and they know nothing else.
Oh, there was a thing like that in the Dragonlance series, right? Where it's just like a big cutoff.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like a super Dark Ages.
Yeah. And it's just like, okay, cool. Well, we started over right there, and here's where we are now. Yeah. Okay.
Pretty much. But it's super interesting the background they've done and the history they've done in this, because as Felicia, one of the other important characters that isn't Caitlyn or Shugong, she is a dungeon raider, and one of the first bonus objectives he did in his first mission, we call it bonus objectives, is he saved Felicia because she got captured by the Red Lightning guys, and he saved her because she was there investigating a ruin.
It's always she's investigating the ruins.
Yeah.
Because she's like dark elf Indiana Jones. She can speak all these languages and learned all this stuff, and she's a magician, right? She does magic. And there's a fun story that happens with Felicia. This is an aside, but it shows how bullshit this character is. They're going through a old dragon ruin that was built here by the dwarves before the dwarves left. And they see some dwarven ruins, and these dwarves created teleporters. And to use them is really dangerous, and getting through this is really dangerous unless you can read Dwarven and figure all this other shit out. So Felicia's like, I'm gonna take some time. I studied this for years. I can get this together. And she's about to read it. And young Shugong is like, it says this.
Yeah.
Because literally, if he looks at characters, he learns the language.
He learns the language.
That's real dumb. I was gonna say because he's already been in there and knows what it.
Because he can't read their languages. He doesn't know how to fucking do that, but he just learns it. Like conquers the language.
Jeez.
Yep. Yeah, he sees Draconic runes and he's like, ancient Draconian language learned.
So this book is essentially what would happen if a guy was immediately the best at everything he tried to do.
He's not immediately the best. He doesn't have the learning process. He can get proficiency at something very fast.
Okay.
Yeah, no. What would take people years, he does in a year.
Okay.
But
doesn't seem too broken then.
I mean, he will stay up 3-4 days straight training himself. And the way he trains is brutal. He'll stab himself or do weird things, and Kark will walk in and be like,
it's a weird way to get off, man.
Prince, that's a weird thing to do, right?
Yeah.
If you need, I can go get a woman.
Nah, man, I'm good. I will stab myself. Thank you.
No, there was a time he was just sitting on a carriage, just firing fire arrows into his foot, and then casting curing magic on it.
Yeah.
Firing fire into his foot, casting a cure magic.
it's like he's playing Oblivion.
Yeah. Basically, take Oblivion system, and then give you know how in an Oblivion or a Morrowind you can create spells. He can do that with skills, passive skills, where shit would merge, and when normally would kill someone, he would conquer it and it would work, so it would never fail.
Jeez. So he's just got wild magic that doesn't fail?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Wild magic with no drawbacks? Yeah, that's pretty okay.
So Shugong does all of these weird yet fantastic things in front of, at this point in time, 3 of his siblings, Felicia, Chris, and Caitlin, which are what?
Felicia's the dark elf. Chris and Caitlin are
lycanthropes.
Felicia's the 6th princess. Chris is the 4th.
7th?
No, he's the 4th prince.
Oh, okay.
He's older than them by
who's 7th?
I think it's Victor. No, Victor.
Victor is 3rd.
Victor's the 3rd prince.
Sylvan is 5th, so I think Caitlin is actually.
Caitlin's
7th.
the 6th princess.
No,
Yes.
I thought Caitlin was 8th.
Felicia's 6th.
Yeah, Felicia's 6th. Caitlin's 8th. I'm almost positive Chris is 7th.
Wait. His brother. No. Chris is with the same.
Michael, Zephyros, or Zephyr, sorry. Zephyros.
3rd prince.
But Chris is older than Felicia.
Yeah, Chris is 3rd prince.
No,
He's not. I think he's.
that would be Victor and
4th
Anastasia. 3rd and 4th are Victor and Anastasia.
No.
True.
Anastasia's 5th princess. Anastasia is younger than Chris.
Okay.
Victor's older
don't
than
know.
them. So
I the way my mind set it up was each queen had 2 children in a row until the 5th queen.
they didn't have it in a row, but it was close.
Okay.
Because Chris is underneath Baikel and the tyranny, like in the hierarchy in age, and he's the king of the lycanthrope, so he's higher on the tier list than most of them. In fact, he rivals the tier list of Anastasia, because Anastasia is the leader of the nightmares. It's gonna be the leader of the nightmares because Victor can't be anything, and then you have Felicia's older brother
Sylvan,
who's in the same tier as.
Well, he's technically like Victor, just like a better Victor.
Yeah, but I'm talking about in the age hierarchy as them. But
I imagined him as the flashing guy from Boku no Hero Academia.
The one with the belt.
Yeah.
God damn it, Sylvan.
I think Sylvan's better than that guy. That guy
Oh,
makes you want to punch him in the face.
Absolutely, but that was just the character image that came to mind when I imagined Sylvan.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, thinking of dark elves as French people isn't.
Yeah, I see it. Yeah, I see it. And I give it. I give him that until Sylvan becomes way better.
Oh yeah, no, Sylvan becomes a boss.
Well, everyone becomes better for being around Shutra because he keeps hitting flags.
Yeah.
Basically, yeah, no. this is the kind of character you just like if you stumble onto him like in a city and you just see him do something, you immediately decide you follow him because your life becomes better from then on.
I mean, that's a pretty good reason to follow a dude.
Yeah, I have not actually gotten to the part in the novel where like the turn happens, where stuff starts going wrong. But even that, with that, it's been a very enjoyable ride, and like he's
far did you get?
foreshadowing. I'm like 117 chapters in or so.
How many chapters total?
231.
Yeah.
Plus 2 side stories.
3 side
Shit,
stories.
man, that's a pretty short book if those aren't crazy
Yeah, it's
long
very
chapters.
short. It's real easy to read.
Yeah.
You get to the end. More story takes over. Like this is an easy thing to talk about anecdotally, but I can't go into depth about why things are happening the way they are. Like, there's no big twist. This isn't like Kumo Desuga
No.
or Tensei Shitara Slime Dadaken or any of those things. The twists aren't like that. It's just like a lack of knowledge that you have.
Yeah, it's sort of like an onion. Like you're peeling layers off of this world. So each arc just gets you deeper and deeper. Not like a parfait.
Don't you
or
mean like an ogre?
No.
Damn it.
It
Bill,
is like an ogre.
fuck
If you
you.
peel
You
off the
took
skin,
away-
there's muscle underneath.
You took it away from me. I was so close, and you saw it. You saw it on my
I
face.
smelled it. But yeah, no. It just each arc just you get farther and farther to the core of the story. Which yes, I get it. That's how stories work. But sometimes you just go off on dalliances. Not this one. Every single arc just opens up another set of answers.
That's pretty cool. Like I like stories that are topping themselves a lot instead of stories that are just drawing it out.
This is one of the few stories I enjoyed reading week to week more than all in a big clump, because it has really good bookends for each chapter going into
Yeah.
the next one,
Sure.
and it has amazing cliffhangers. Like, there's one cliffhanger where, like, if you're reading it online, you'll get to a point, and then if you go to the comments, and the comments are from people who are reading it day to day,
Yeah.
you have a comment that says "Bye, Felicia" on it, and I died. I literally died laughing because I couldn't, like, because it was like super tense chapter. Like, finally get a tense chapter, mainly because it's a chapter where Shooter's not there to solve the freaking problem.
Just usually what happens. He shows up and solves, like, things go horribly wrong and he solves it better than you would have expected.
Yeah, pretty much.
And like it's weird. If he has his sights set on something, it can't not be done. Like, it will happen. It's just what part of Shugong's like really broken system decides it's what's gonna solve this problem.
Got a good example of that?
There was one point in time where you find out he gets this thing called 10,000's poison resistance, and immediately is sent to a place that like
It's a trap.
the last group of people who went there like had a lower general from the Demon King Palace, and he died to poison.
And this general, if this general is really fucking strong, like, if they were to fight Shooter at that point, Shooter would just get bodied in a cut, right? It'd be over.
Sure.
But this guy isn't, he has to breathe, right?
Yeah.
So he died to poison. Their whole group comes in. They all fall to poison. The guys are like, all right, come in, let's walk in and like quickly stab them with spears to make sure they're dead,
And then
kind of a thing.
suddenly, Shugong has a fist in their chest.
And he just like kills like 4 of them before anybody knows what's happening. And the last one's like, oh god, hey, there's
And then he just drags his friends into a clean room. And is like, all right.
We made it.
That sounds fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Anybody else got any particular stories they like remember particularly well? Particular.
I mean, there's the point where like the slice of life portions to me were super enjoyable.
Yeah,
because they'd have like him getting respect in the capital, getting a mansion, building a bunch of supporters. But it was more like when they're going to this place that is known for its gambling, its red light district, its sex, and its auction.
Sure.
And he's going there, and his sisters, who are now joining, like, he's met their moms have like judged him as a possible leader to become the next Demon King. So they're joining, they're creating a faction. And the first thing he does to his faction is, we're going to go here. And he's trying to hide that he's actually going there to look for someone who's used to be a sex slave. He can't say that's what he's looking for.
Why would he say that?
But they were like, the only reason you would need to go there is for sex slaves. So he's trying to play off
Yeah, I'm a guy that gets sex slaves. That's
wanting
me.
to get a sex slave to his siblings.
Yeah, that's me.
And
I mean, what is he? 13, 14?
he's like 14 at this point.
Oh, I do want to say,
Yeah, I got like sex slaves. That's me.
like, as he's leveling up, so he has his determined level. But on his birthday, he gains a level.
Yeah, you gain a
Oh.
level every birthday. Yeah,
That's really fucking stupid.
he goes like 2 birthdays.
He's
Yeah.
he's just like building up levels and then like working out really hard. He's just running along and like ting. Oh shit. Yeah, okay, birthday. And then just keep going.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, that sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's really interesting.
I like how Karak like gets with all of the aides.
Oh,
Guess what,
all
all
the
the-
bitches.
Oh, not just AIDS though, also the concubines' children. So these are like royalty.
He
Got
just
him
like
too.
walks around and is competent, and all the girls are like, "Damn, that's a powerful orc.
He is
He'd
competent
take
as shit.
care of you."
Are you sure he's an orc?
Oh yeah, and Shutra getting salty because he's like, I wanted to build a harem too.
Yeah.
And every girl is just
Every
all
girl
about
that
Karak.
meets him likes Karak. He gets Nyatra, who wasn't trying to get a sex slave, but he gets Nyatra to join, and he's afraid that Nyatra, a girl he likes, is going to fall in love with Karak.
So
She is a succubus, by the way, or a nightmare.
that sounds like
All
the kind of
nightmares are
person you'd fall in
succubus.
love with. I was trying to look up
Succubi.
what Chris's position was earlier, just because I was like, I could solve this with Google. And in my internet wanderings, there was multiple threads about, hey, is this Karak being the main character thing ever gonna drop off? Because like they're doing this a lot.
Aside from like actually fighting the last bosses of any like particular arc, yes, Karak is the main.
That being
Karak
said,
even
half the
helps in every fight. Like he's
Oh
like,
yeah,
Yeah, because he can. The one part of the conquest thing is he can call his knights, and Karak is one of his knights.
so he can just be like Karak. Suddenly, Karak is in front of him holding a shield, and
dual wielding shields.
Fuck yes. my man with the dual wielding shield.
he's like a moving wall.
Yeah,
Like,
it sounds like.
there's a point in time they're storming a fortress, and they just put him in a hallway, and it's just. They had this mobile sentry tank going down a hallway where he's holding the 2 shields. They have people in the back firing. They have people in the middle firing.
Spirits up above casting wind spells. Fighter
Jesus
spirits.
Christ.
Like they're
So it's a
looking up
tower
like
defense
Voltron.
game. He's just slowing him down. Like
No, they're charging.
They're charging. It's like we could go around these traps slowly, or we can just charge through faster than the wind.
Oh,
All
yeah.
right,
let's
do
charge, boys.
It's a fun book. They make fun decisions. Like that's really the good part about this book is that it's not like incredible or like crazy decisions or anything. It's just they make very fun solutions to the problems
Yeah.
that they encounter.
Another broken thing about Ngong's system is his inventory. He can just store things.
Oh,
Yeah.
they use that tactically as fuck too. It's great.
That sounds like a big part of these novels, kind of in general, is the ability to store things in hammer space.
But wait, he leads armies, and they have like military movements. So you have to think of like,
Support logistics. He gets to ignore that.
yeah, he can just. Oh, I'll just carry 300 people's worth of
Food and water, and it never spoils.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So it's
He
like
also he hides it. He'll take like a normal backpack and just be like, take a sword, put it in here, store. Take a sword, put it in here, store.
or he'll get a tarp, lay it on the ground, and just start like producing things.
he does magic, is what you're telling me. He just likes tricking people with magic.
Yes.
Like
People are so
illusions.
confused because what he's pretending to do is such a high level magic that the master mages
Yeah.
around him can't do it.
Some 13-year-old just like
But there's a part with this inventory where they have to defend like the edge of Evian, whatever, and there's multiple like defense places, and they're like, we can abandon this place, but we can't give any of the food or the stuff to the invading barbarians. Nah, go away. I got this. Store everything in this fortress. Go to the next fortress. Store everything in this fortress. Go to the next fortress. Building an army the whole time.
it's fine. They can have the fortress, but they can't have any of the stuff inside of
And
it.
Nothing.
that keeps happening. They were banking on these fortresses having supplies.
That's what you do as an advancing army is like you take resources, and if you take away all the resources, that army can't really advance
And,
so
they,
good.
and they can't live off the land because the land is like desert and garbage. So
Nice.
it's like
I was gonna say, are they sawing the land? They burning shit? What are they doing?
But
It's just
even
already
then,
bad.
like they're like, well, then how are they moving so fast? Like if they're carrying all the stuff with them, that's fine, but they shouldn't be getting away from us.
they're sprinting faster than like horses can run because they're casting movement spells and replenishing stamina, and he's using his sisters as batteries. That's one thing he uses his sisters as
Hilarious.
batteries.
Also the spirit that he basically forces to be him to be his servant. She's a wind spirit. So like
She just makes him fast by like
She-
her.
She just removes friction.
yeah, she just uses backdraft to help you move forward.
Oh, so it's not even like her passive. She's like actively doing it
yeah,
at all
she's
times.
using magic to do it. Like,
Yeah.
That's great. That's great.
Yeah,
It is his passive essentially. Like that's
that becomes all of his family members. They just become his passives. He just taps into them and he uses them until they pass out and faint.
And it's like, all
well
right,
done
thanks.
with that one.
Here's an elixir sister. Elixir sister, be back. I'm gonna need batteries later.
Yeah.
Solve the problem.
Please take a nap.
Sisters, are you good? All right, faster to win to the next battlefield. And they're like, I'm dying. Like you see them
Shutra
literally
is
like,
too much.
too
Is a-
much. I'm dying. You're killing me.
He knows what the limits are. He's played this game.
No, he absolutely knows, and they know he knows at all points in time. However,
They trust him with it, but
It's hard.
Shutra is too much.
Would be. Well, this sounds like a really fun book, you guys.
It's a good intro book in the Korean. novels.
Where's this book get read? Where's this one? Where's
You
this
can
one at?
Read it at
Wuxia World.
It's on Wuxia World.
yeah.
Mhm.
Shit,
Mhm.
man. Wuxia World's got a lot of these books.
Yeah,
Yep.
we were really lucky when Rainbow Turtle went over to Wuxia World.
Yeah.
That was she somewhere else?
Mm-hmm.
Was she was at the other one?
Oh,
We're not gonna say it. We're just
No,
gonna call it the
no,
other
She
one.
had
She had
stuff
her
at
own
Gravity
stuff.
Tells, and she also, Rainbow Turtle had their own stuff. So, but when they came over to Wuxia World and brought a bunch of novels to Wuxia World, it was a good time
Oh, okay.
because I could read all my stuff in one place.
So-
It was
Yeah, 'cause she
literally
was-
when Korean novels were introduced.
She
Like,
was
she
such a translator of such renown that Rin was willing to take on Korean novels to Wuxia World, which he wasn't willing to do earlier because he couldn't TLC them.
Oh, because he couldn't check them himself.
Mm-hmm.
I think you told me that already, but still, like, that's fucking cool.
that should let you know how strong Rainbow Turtle as a translator is. It's just like, yeah, just let it rock.
Yeah, no, these are good.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, this story has so much more to, like, we could talk about. We haven't even we did not even mention the dragon equipment. Like, he gets, like, actual artifacts from the 6 elder dragons.
That sounds like some in-game nonsense.
Yeah, but he gets it really early.
no, he gets it throughout the whole thing.
He just gets more pieces.
And it scales.
Yeah, he's just not strong enough to use all its abilities at the beginning.
He meets a hidden blacksmith that out of all of his games, he had only met like 2 or 3 times because it's random where he shows up in the game.
Yeah, but somebody who's like was basically a background character in the original game, like shows up and he's like, "This is where he's staying for the next 6 months. Go ask and see if he'll make you equipment."
Oh man, the Sword Duke. We didn't even talk about how ridiculous that character is.
We didn't even talk about how much of a baller the Demon King is.
Oh, Demon King's like the real main character, but we're not even going to go into
we
that.
should we should call Treading the Path of Heaven Knights. We didn't even talk about Coiling Dragons. Like, we didn't even talk about Breakers. Like we didn't though. Like we didn't even talk about it. We just gave you an
We
idea.
maybe covered like 5% of the story.
yeah.
Yeah, that's what we're going for here, you guys.
Read it. It's easy. It'll get you into Korean novels. Read this and then be like, I'm ready for Dungeon Defense now. I can appreciate what Dungeon Defense does to Korean novels because I read this.
It maybe took me 3 weeks to read this of sporadic reading. There were days I didn't read, and I still got through this in about 3 weeks or so.
That's not bad. That's a pretty short book.
It's not bad.
What's next up, guys?
We have literally on the whiteboard, I believe it says Marshall something or other.
I think we actually decided to go with Against the Gods.
Oh,
AGG!
Against the Gods.
yeah.
What is that? Is that another Wuxia World?
Yeah, it is.
We just live on Wuxia World, don't we?
Well, I mean, this is a good place to be.
Yeah.
It's got a lot of them together. Against the Gods is one of my favorites. Like, it at one point in time was legitimately hands down my favorite story. I was
Well,
reading.
It prescribes to the story arc of get stronger, get bitches.
Ooh. Okay. Oh, so he's one of those MCs.
Yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
he's incorrigible, honestly.
I do like a good incorrigible.
That is
MC.
such a good line to hook someone in. Hey man, you like getting strong? Yeah. You like bitches?
Yeah,
I can help you get strong and get bitches.
Read this.
Speaking of, we should also talk about ancient strengthening techniques at some point.
I mean, yeah, but I need to start reading that again. I dropped off at like 700 or so.
We had a lot of fun with this book. If you guys haven't figured out, we kind of have a pattern going. We're trying to do like a rotation of like
Chinese,
and Korean and Japanese novels. Like we're trying to keep it fairly even, just so you have an idea of what our format kind of is going to be like. We're gonna try and do one of those cool bonus episodes that we just did 2 of in a row, like once a month maybe is like
Yeah,
what we're
once a
shooting
month
for.
or so.
Yeah.
So based on y'all's response, we're gonna still try and get as many interviews as we can. But based on y'all's response to specific episodes, we're gonna like it's also the ones that we can do. Do like Treading the Path of Heaven Nights or Treading the Path of Hell. That's gonna be a special one.
I got one for Treading the Path of Hell. Good old user request.
Is that gonna be our next one?
Request. No, that's the next one. No. I gotta relish in the shit. I gotta do what I did when I was dating a girl who liked Twilight, and I read all of Twilight.
Just
and
so
I
you can rip on it?
relish so I can make fun of everyone who ever liked this.
I mean, no, you're gonna know yourself, but that's a sacrifice.
Yeah, no, that's one I'm not willing to make. I don't think.
Well, guys,
This has been another episode of Straight By the Heaven. If you've got anything you'd like to say to us, you can tweet us at Tiger Coaster on Twitter, or you can reach us through Gmail at tiger.rollercoaster@gmail.com.
Also, we've got a Facebook page. It's not a lot of stuff on it because I'm not good at posting on Facebook a lot, but there is one. We also have a YouTube channel now. I started doing this because, like, I don't know. So we have a YouTube channel now. You could go watch. Not so much watch. You can go listen to these episodes with a really shitty MS Paint picture I drew and then one that Bill did.
yeah.
That was
Awesome.
way better than mine. It was.
Yeah.
So our goal is at some point in the future to have like our episodes live streamed on there. So that might be coming soon. Get excited? Question mark?
Yeah, I guess so. But yeah, if you've got, a review, if you like to review a book and have us read it on the show, if you've got something you'd like for us to review, reach out to us. We've been more than happy to look into it. But otherwise, we'll see you next week with Against the Gods, and thanks for listening as always.
Ciao.
Bye.
Later.
Tiger Roller Coaster Productions. Tigers are scary. You try to get off.